Leo Vance gently removed my hearing aid, but the world did not fall silent as he intended. He looked at me with deep affection, his lips moving as if reciting the most beautiful love poem. Our friends cheered from the sidelines, their faces full of envy, holding up a sign that read, "He's proposing with poetry," the sign that read, "He's proposing with poetry." I played my part, offering a shy, moved smile, but inside, my heart was ice. They didn't know. My hearing had been fully restored last week, so I heard with perfect clarity what Leo was actually saying. "Hey guys, do you think she'll cry if she knew I was just reciting the multiplication tables?" A wave of suppressed laughter rippled through the group. Leo's friends, the same people who had always been so warm to me, praising my kindness and understanding, were now looking at me with a mixture of pity and ridicule. They thought I was living in a silent world, a pathetic creature played for a fool by Leo. The curve of Leo's lips widened, his eyes gleaming with triumph. He gently caressed my cheek, his touch so tender it could draw water from a stone, but the words from his mouth were poison. "Evelyn Reed, you truly are my treasure. Without you, my deaf and foolish little stepping stone, how could I have won that design award 3 years ago and become the youngest project director in the company? Look at you, your eyes are all red with emotion. You think I'm proposing, don't you? Dream on. Why would I ever marry a cripple?" Behind him, Chloe Grant, the woman who always claimed to be my best friend, was doubled over with laughter. She held up her phone, recording us, and mouthed exaggeratedly at Leo, "Leo, you're so bad. Be careful Evelyn doesn't find out and kill you." Leo scoffed, She'll never find out. The doctors said it's permanent nerve damage. It would take a miracle." I lowered my eyes, my long lashes concealing the cold fury that churned within me. A miracle. The miracle had already happened. And now, you will all face my judgment. 3 years ago, I pushed Leo out of the path of a runaway truck. The resulting head injury plunged me into a world of silence. In the aftermath, Leo cared for me with a devotion that everyone said was a blessing in disguise. I had found the perfect man. Every day, he would help me put on my hearing aid, whispering, "Evelyn, my voice is for you alone to hear." On our dates, he would suddenly remove it, and in what he believed was our private, silent world, he would mouth "I love you" over and over again. I once thought it was the most unique form of romance in the world. Now I knew it was my own personal, cruel execution chamber. My heart felt as if it were being squeezed by an invisible hand, the pain making it hard to breathe, but I knew this was not the time to break down. I looked up, met Leo's adoring gaze, and forced the happiest, most moved smile I could muster. I took out my small whiteboard and wrote, "What are you saying? It's too loud in here. I can't hear." It was the excuse I had used for the past 3 years. Leo's smile grew even more tender. He took my hand and wrote, character by character, in my palm. I said, "I love you. Will you marry me?" The cheering grew louder. I looked at him, a single, perfectly timed tear rolling down my cheek, and nodded, amidst the deafening applause. I picked up my phone and quickly sent a text message to my lawyer. Then, in front of everyone, I gave Leo a deep, lingering hug, and in his ear, in a voice only he could hear, I said, clear and calm, "Leo, 3 years ago, I saved you. 3 years later, I will be the one to destroy you." His body went rigid. I released him, and in his shocked, horrified gaze, I picked up a glass of red wine from the table and slowly poured it over his head. "Ah!" Chloe was the first to scream, frantically trying to wipe the wine from his face. The room fell silent, everyone stunned by the sudden turn of events. I slammed the empty glass down on the table with a sharp crack. Then, I removed the hearing aid me prop and dropped it into the glass. "Sorry, I forgot to mention, my hearing was restored last week. I heard every single word you all said." The silence in the room was absolute. The gleeful, mocking expressions on their faces froze, replaced by a look of sheer terror, as if they had seen a ghost. Leo's face drained of all color, his lips trembled, but no words came out. Chloe, forgetting her own disheveled state, pointed a shaking finger at me. "Evelyn, you're lying. You must be faking it." "Am I?" I sneered, my gaze shifting from her back to Leo. "Why don't you continue with your multiplication tables? You were doing so well. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is Women's Day." I deliberately made a mistake. Watching his face turn from pale to ashen, he finally found his voice. A dry, rasping sound. "Evelyn, let me explain. It was a misunderstanding. A joke they were playing." "A joke?" I raised an eyebrow, using my disability. "Our 3-year relationship, as a joke. You're very creative, Leo." I turned to the so-called friends. "Your jokes were hilarious, too. I've taken note of all of them, but from now on, My life will no longer require the services of clowns. Without another glance, I turned to leave. Leo scrambled after me, grabbing my wrist. Evelyn, don't go. Let me explain. Let go, I said, my voice devoid of any warmth. Evelyn, I love you. I only did it because I love you so much. I was afraid of losing you. His phone rang, interrupting his frantic excuses. I had called for a car service earlier. I put the call on speaker. Miss Reed, your driver is waiting for you at the entrance of the restaurant. Thank you, I'll be right out. I hung up and shook his hand off. Did you hear that? Someone is waiting for me, and you are no longer anyone to me. Panic seized him. He clung to me, his voice pleading. Evelyn, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Please, just forgive me this one time. We're about to get married. His loud voice drew the attention of the other diners. He was trying to use public pressure to shame me, but I was not the same love-struck girl from 3 years ago. I looked at him calmly. Then, in front of everyone, I slapped him hard across the face. The sound was crisp and clean. Leo was stunned into silence. I rubbed my stinging palm. That, I said coldly, was for the fool I was 3 years ago. Leo, whatever was between us ended the moment you decided to make a monkey out of me. I pushed past him and walked out of the restaurant. As soon as I was in the car, I called my brother. The moment he answered, the tears I had been holding back finally broke free. The suppressed hurt, anger, and heartbreak of 3 years erupted all at once. My brother, frantic on the other end, was typing furiously. Evelyn, what is it? Don't cry. Did that bastard Leo hurt you? Through my sobs, I told him everything. There was a long silence. Then his voice, filled with elation. Holy hell, sis, you can hear. You just wait. I'm going to go and smash up his place right now. No, I said, wiping my tears, my voice steady again. Don't, brother. Smashing his place is too easy. I want to see him utterly and completely ruined. Let's start by pulling our investments. All right, you got it, he said, his voice a low growl of suppressed rage and excitement. Pulling the funding is just the appetizer. What's next? In with you all the way. I looked out at the blurred city lights. First, he'll compile all the transaction records for the startup capital I gave him, along with the promissory note he signed. Then, the design he used to win that award me original sketches and all the digital files of the revisions. It's time for them to see the light of day. 3 years ago, Leo had been desperate for a winning entry for a major international design competition. I, swayed by his sweet words, had given him my passion project, a design I called Starlight. After my accident, he had helped me organize my files and deleted everything related to it, thinking there was no proof. But he didn't know I had a habit of backing up all my important files to the cloud and sending a copy to my brother. Already on it, just waiting for your word. My brother replied instantly. Let's see how long he holds on to that director position now. Second, I continued. My phone was recording the whole time in that private room. I want you to have someone edit the audio of everything he said about me. And I want you to investigate his activities for the past few years. Find evidence of his cheating. Well, release it all at once. Buy a top trending spot online. Well, sever his social and professional lifelines completely. There was a brief pause. Then my brother's hearty laugh. Brilliant. My sister's finally seen the light. That's ruthless. But it might affect your own dating life in the future. I didn't care. Well, deal with that later, brother. For now, just help me return the favor. The next day, I went to Leo's company. The receptionist, who usually greeted me with an envious, "The director's girlfriend is here again. You two are so sweet," now looked uncomfortable. Miss Reed, Director Vance is in a meeting. I smiled. That's fine. I'll wait. I walked past her and pushed open his office door. He was on a video call with Chloe, his feet up on the desk. He jumped in surprise, nearly falling out of his chair as he fumbled to end the call. Evelyn, what are you doing here? I looked around the spacious office, at the framed certificate on the wall, the one he had won for Starlight. Just came to see the office that my deaf and foolish little stepping stone helped build. Quite impressive. His face went pale. Evelyn, this is my office. We can talk about this at home. Home? Where's that? Your place. So you can recite more multiplication tables to me. You. He was furious but kept his voice low. Evelyn, what do you want? Nothing much. I took a USB drive from my bag and placed it on the coffee table. Just returning what's yours. What is this? He asked, eyeing it suspiciously. A detailed record of your startup capital. And, I paused, enjoying his growing anxiety. All the design files for the Starlight series, from the initial sketches to the final draft. Oh, and the audio from your proposal. He looked as if had been struck by lightning. You When did you? Right when you were so lovingly reciting your love poem. I walked over to the award. Leo, what do you think the competition committee will do when they find out their gold medalist is not only a plagiarist, but a person of such low character? No, Evelyn, you can't. He lunged for me, but I stepped aside. I was wrong. I'll do anything. Well, get married right away. I'll put the house in your name. I'll be good to you. The same empty promises. I laughed. Marry you, Leo. You were out of the game the moment you trampled on my heart. As for this audio, consider it a small punishment. I played a snippet from the recording. Do you think she'll cry if she knew I was just reciting the multiplication tables? Without you, my deaf and foolish little stepping stone, how could I have won that design award? Why would I ever marry a cripple? The clear voices echoed in the office. Leo's face was ashen. He collapsed to the floor. Evelyn, please, don't. You'll ruin me, he begged, crawling after me. I opened the door. Several employees were gathered outside, listening. I turned back to him, and to all of them, and said, Director Vance, I am not the one ruining you. You did this to yourself. My brother moved faster than I had anticipated. By the time I left the building, news alerts were already popping up on my phone. Breaking. Rising designer Leo Vance accused of plagiarizing girlfriend's award-winning design. Exclusive audio. Tech firm director Leo Vance SFA, Ade crumbles. Revealed to have emotionally abused deaf girlfriend for years. Leo Vance faces financial collapse as investors pull out. Company launches internal investigation. My lawyer called to inform me that a lawsuit had been officially filed for fraud and copyright infringement, demanding the return of all funds and substantial damages. The evidence on the USB drive had been anonymously sent to the competition committee. Watching the story explode online, I felt not triumph, but a cold, quiet calm. This was just the beginning. Leo owed me far more than this, and so did his partner in crime, Chloe. I looked at the text she had just sent, a pathetic attempt to distance herself. Don't worry, one at a time, no one is getting away. Chloe's text was a masterpiece of crocodile tears. Evelyn, I know you're hurting, but you've misunderstood. It was all a stupid joke. I've been on your side all along. Can we please meet and talk? I replied with 2 words. Of course. I met her at our usual cafe. She was already there. Her eyes red. Evelyn, I was so worried, she sobbed, trying to hug me. I sidestepped her. Leo is a monster, she declared, launching into a tirade against him, painting herself as an innocent bystander. Really? I said, stirring my iced coffee, because I seem to recall you saying, Leo, you're so bad. Be careful Evelyn doesn't find out and kill you. It sounded like you were enjoying the show. Her face paled. I was being sarcastic. I was trying to warn him. How could you twist my words? After all our years of friendship, don't you trust me? Friendship, I laughed. The kind of friend who secretly fools around with my boyfriend while I'm deaf, and joins in on mocking me. Well, what are you talking about? Shall I remind you? Last October, at the Blue Bay Hotel, New Year's Day, at the West Mountain Hot Springs, and last month, in the car outside Leo's apartment. With each location I named, her face grew paler. My brother had found it all. She and Leo had been sleeping together for years, all while she played the part of my devoted friend. You were spying on us, no more than you spied on me, and played me for a fool for 3 years. You encouraged me to trust him, to give him my designs, all while you were sleeping with him. Did it give you a thrill, watching me be so stupid? That's not what happened. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm sending all of this to your fiancé. Good luck. Her fiancé, Chad, was a wealthy heir with a violent temper and a prison record. Known for his jealous rages, he had gone to jail for beating his last girlfriend half to death after catching her cheating. No, you can't, she shrieked, grabbing my hand. Please, I was wrong. Leo seduced me. I can't lose my fiancé, my job. Please, that's your problem, not mine. I pried her fingers off me. If you're so afraid of him, break up with him. She shook her head frantically. I can't. My parents took so much money from him. They've already bought my brother a new house. Then that's your fate. My sympathy was gone. Everyone has to take responsibility for their actions. You took his money, got engaged to him, and cheated with my boyfriend. If he beats you to death, he'll go to prison. If he doesn't, you'll be disabled. Either way, it's a win in my book. I left her there, her face a mask of despair. My brother called. So, how did the bitch react? Terrified, probably trying to figure out how to run. Run, he scoffed. I've already tipped off Chad. He's looking for her. That guy is not someone you want to cross. Brother, I said, pausing as I buckled my seatbelt. Don't let it get out of hand. No one needs to die. Don't worry, I'll just make sure she gets a taste of her own medicine. The fallout was swift and brutal. Leo was a pariah. His company fired him and sued him for damages. The competition committee revoked his award and demanded he repay the prize money. Chloe was publicly humiliated by Chad, who dragged her from her office and beat her in front of her colleagues. Her family, faced with repaying the massive dowry, disowned her. I watched it all unfold with a detached calm. They had sown the wind, and now they were reaping the whirlwind. I had simply given the first domino a gentle push. The court date arrived. I walked in, confident and composed, in a sharp black suit. Leo sat at the defendant's table, a broken man. He couldn't even look at me. The trial was a formality. My evidence was irrefutable. He was ordered to repay all the money, with interest, and pay substantial damages for copyright infringement. He also faced criminal charges for fraud. His mother wailed as he was led away. I walked out of the courthouse into the bright sunlight and took a deep breath of free air. "Feel better?" my brother asked, slinging an arm around my shoulder. "It's all right," I said with a small smile. "Just a little noisy." The world had sound again. Sometimes it was chaotic, but it was a world free of lies and deceit. Leo sold everything he owned to pay me back. He disappeared, a disgraced and indebted man. Chloe, after her family was sued into bankruptcy, also vanished. My life was finally quiet. I started my hearing rehabilitation, relearning how to navigate a world of sound. My brother introduced me to some of the top designers in the country. My talent, and my story, earned their respect. I started designing again, under my own name. My first collection was called Rebirth. On the night of the show, as I stood on the runway, bathed in light, I heard the sound of applause, clear and real. In that moment, I knew that the deaf, foolish girl was gone forever. Standing here was a new Evelyn Reed, one who could hear all the sounds of the world, the lies and the truth, and who knew how to make her own voice heard. The world was no longer quiet, but it had never been so clear, so loud, and so completely my own.